this Sunday, the Trackmania Grand League group stage finish, and it's safe to say that my guest is the guy who performed the best this season, even though he ended up second, but that has something to do with a point-loss system that we now have said goodbye to. But first of all, hello, Pack. How is everything doing? How is life in UK at the moment?
Hi, mate. Well, it's interesting with COVID, but life's going all right. Stressful at the minute with exams coming up, but yeah, I feel good about the Grand League season just gone by. That was a definite positive aspect of my life over the last 6 weeks, and yeah, it's nice to be done with that season now.
I'm somewhat mad about you, of you, because I put this tier list on, and last season I was really good at predicting who would do well. I put you as one of the guys who did well last season, and then it was like this season, waiting. Wasn't he busy winter 2020 with school? Okay, he's gonna be busy this time around, so he's not gonna perform well. He's gonna struggle to make it into the playoffs, and here we are. It was like after step one, even though we lost all those points, I was like, oh, come on. It's the pack who's going to smurf everyone. What did you expect from yourself this season before it started?
I don't know. I didn't really expect too much. I mean, the practice for step one went really well. I had good times on all of the tracks, but obviously everyone was super trained for that one, and everyone such a high level. I didn't really expect to have 82 points on the last track and be flying that high, but to crash so little during that step, it sort of set the season going for me because I kind of each week learned the different lines to be able to risk, but also not crash as much, and that was the difference between me and the other seasons that I've been in. I just learned the lines better. I think it goes back to like beta season where I didn't crash either. I learned things to be more consistent and at a fast pace, which is always kind of like my standard now. I'm renowned for risking when I don't need to risk. So I sort of just lived up to that name really, but also in a way which was also safe in my head at least. So I was pushing it, but not going crazy. And yeah, I don't know. It just seems this season everything sort of clicked together. I mean, obviously the points loss here and there didn't really, it didn't help me. But it was good to finally show what I can do at an extreme kind of level.
But it sounds easy to, let's say, okay, I'm going to drive fast, but I'm not going to drive fast enough so I crash. But is there any particular thing you did differently in the training to sort of, okay, this pace is what I'm going to do in match? How is the different approach going? Is there any even different approach in training, or is it just a mental aspect?
I guess it's just mental, really. I mean, last season, what did I do? It was more practicing for the speed. I was trying to be really fast. The tracks were a lot longer, so it was harder. You had to put more time in to finish a track rather than these ones were quite a lot easier, and the identities themselves weren't exactly harder. They were just identities. That's how you name the track. So these were much more well fitted to my kind of standard of playing the game, and the tracks themselves were kind of tech orientated, but then half of them weren't, quite weren't as well. So it was, well, a good mix up, but also it fit my style as well again. And I think, I don't really know, the training aspect each week, I would spend, I don't know, an hour each evening with Spam, learning the tracks, and I'd watch streams in the day, find the route of the track, and then I'm such a visual learner. I kind of just waited till like Wednesday each week to start my training. So I learned the tracks by just seeing what Tim would do, and then I would just join him on the Wednesday, practice for an hour, and then practice Thursday, practice Friday, Saturday probably spend 3-4 hours, and then Sunday spend another few hours before the actual event to then get the graspings of things. But I always aim to do around my PB in match. That was always the goal. I had what was it? Slalom. My PB was 6:16. I aim to do that in match. Switcheroo. My PB was 6:51. I aim to do that in match. That was kind of like my goals on every track, to try and just be around my PB. step 1 was the hardest because my PBs were quite pushed. So that was the hardest one to do that. But the rest of them, what I trained in the week is what I expected to do in math. And then when I also realized that other people weren't always doing their PBs and my PBs were what I wanted to do in math, I felt a lot more at ease knowing that I could do that and that was already faster than other people. So I kind of eased my mind that I could be more confident when going into the step, and that mentality sort of helps out when you're trying to not crash and just win these kind of races.
Yeah. But we talk about Trackmania Grand League, and of course, then the point loss system is something that comes into discussion. And after step 1 was over, I went to Twitter. I said Pac did this on the 5 first maps. He was top 2, and then map 6 he was 10th and ended up being 10th. And it sort of created some discussion, created some drama, created some the point loss system has to go now. But you were in that. You actually lost those points. What did you think about after you lost historically 82 points on the last map there?
So it started a big discussion, didn't it? At the time, it's horrible. That was horrible. But when you look back on it, it's quite a funny thing. And I've lost 82 points and then still managed to get through. Still managed to do well this season. I think from that, it sparked something inside of me to be like, right, I need to really show what I can do. 82 points wasn't the highest points I was ever going to get. And that's what I tried to prove this season. I think it showed the major flaw in the system. Someone winning 3 of the maps and then losing all their points wasn't kind of the right way to go. And I think that helped the movement. But then also there was a rage in the community that just kind of like overtook from then on, because 3 of us lost all our points and they were quite big points already in that step. But yeah, no, at the time it was something to really. I think for the next 2 days I was just like, it would have made my life so much easier not losing the points, and it was such a silly mistake that it did. So whatever, had to move on. Did well.
Yeah. But the thing about once, at least from an outside point of view, is once people start to lose points, it's sort of like, okay, next step, I'm going to take them all back. And it's like they put more pressure on themselves. And then essentially that pressure is something they crumble under. So you see like people, it's like a trend. If people start to lose points, they're just going to continue losing points. And then like coming to step 5 and like, okay, this step, I need all the points. And essentially then the pressure is too high. But for you, it was not the case. It was just, after you lost historically the most amount of points, you still just went back, was the same pack. So did it affect you in any way once you was on the Sunday again? That did you have anything in the back of your head that, oh no, I can still, even though I play good, I can still lose all these points?
Yes, but no as well. So, for instance, step 2 was quite a fortunate one for me because the 2 last tracks were, I think, my 2 favorite ever Grand League maps.
Oh, really?
So to have them at the end of the 6 tracks, I thought, yeah, I mean, I could really keep my points this week. And the fact that it all went downhill on map 4, I think I lost half my points. I had the 2 backup maps, and I was like, well, it's now or never. I need to perform now. It needs to happen. Otherwise, nothing's really going to go my way. And the fact that they went both so well, it sort of kicked off the trend of playing to such a high level. And those 2 tracks were just helping me this season. I think I would have done well without them as well. I think I had the mentality to just try and keep my points on the last 2 tracks. And yeah, it just worked. I don't know really why, but it just, those ones, I just clicked, and great.
But now that you look back at the season, are you surprised that you were, I guess to say one level above the rest might be wrong, but in the end, you were by far the guy who stood out the most, even though Carl Jr. won the season. But did you expect to be the guy who won the most amount of maps, who plays on the podium the most amount of times, and essentially collected the most amount of points, but still lost like second amount of most points?
I mean, it's sort of a goal every season of mine. Like last season, I really wanted to be someone that kept the points all the time, had loads of points every step, things like that, and it didn't go my way. This one, I had the same goal at the start. I mean, I think the tracks being shorter helps out, and the tracks not necessarily being so like hard. I think that also helps. The way I learn tracks is just natural kind of thing, and not really. I don't really try to put huge amount of time into actually learning the track. It's if I learn it not like on the day one, then it's great. If I have to learn it longer, it takes a lot more time, and I find it hard, and I do bad in steps, for instance. But yeah, this time really worked out for me, and say about that.
But now you look, because it's one thing to perform well in the group stage, but let's say once we come to December and gonna recap 2021, we're gonna look at who essentially won Trackmania Grand League, and then it's something different that comes into play. It's about being fast, winning rounds in the final 9 this season. How confident do you feel now going into the final 9? Because if you talk about pack, it's like talking about a fast player, and now it's about being fast. So I must mean you must be happy, right?
Oh yeah, no, I can't wait for the finals. The finals are. I can't wait to kind of like try and win it this year and like really, really win it. That's what I really want to do. I just want to win TMGL. That'd be great, and I can say I've done it now, and that'd be great.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. The league standings, I just wanted to come top 2 this season, and then yeah, having the finals, which is all about pace, and just yeah, if I can get to the final 2, I think I've got a good shot. Even if I can get to the final 4, I think I've got a good shot. The map pool is really nice. I mean, I've won every track in it, so I think yeah, there's a good shot. I just can't wait to get started on training them.
There's been though 2 official seasons, and the best player of all time in Trackmania has won both of these seasons. He won the group session as well. It's Carl Jr. Do you see him as your biggest competitor to win this competition, or who do you see as sort of the guys who can take the title away from you?
Well, I mean, always the fast ones. So Carl, always fast. Gwen, he's ridiculous every time. And then I think those are the main 2. They're always the big names. But then who else we got? We've got Papu. He's always quick. He turned it on step 6. So, and he's the one that denied me getting to the final 2 last year. So naturally, he's going to be there. Probably going to do the same this year. Hopefully not. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Bren this time is in the final 8, 9. So, and he's always quick when it comes to having time spent on tracks. So I think he'll be good. Mudder, who knows? He was very trained for step 1, and yeah, I think he could be probably good as well. And then got Fiona Rell, the more consistent players. So although the format doesn't really favour them, they might cause an upset as well. It'd be interesting to see, but I really hope to get to that final 2, just crush it, and yeah, that'd be great.
But new for this season is that even though there are bottom 8, they are still not out. We have this final chance that one of these bottom 8 players is going to come into this league again. If you look at the bottom 8, is there one guy who you think can come from that final chance and essentially be a really strong contender for the win in this format?
Any of them, to be honest. I think the main ones with a chance are Bam, Massa, and Kappa. Even Tween. I think those 4 have more of a chance than the bottom 4. It's just whoever puts the most time in and who's going to be, the fastest out of them. I don't really know.
But you said that you just want to win Trackmania Grand League. You just want to have that on your list. If you win it, what would that mean to you? Would it put it up towards the World Championship title, winning Games Assembly 2 years in a row? You can say you won it 3 years in a row if you take From Zero to Hero in it. How high would you put a win at Trackmania Grand League on your achievements list?
That's a big one. Sure, a big one. But I think a World Cup is always going to be bigger. So that would be the next one. But I just want to be able to tick it off the list. So, right, I have done that, and that's another one. But it would be good. It would be really good. Yeah, it would be really good.
It will be real good, yeah. But if you then talk about this overall year, because it's not only Trackmania Grand League seasons that is taking place, we have Trackmania Grand League World Cup coming up. I asked Carl Jr. about it, I asked Gwen about it. They both say that they view the World Cup as higher than winning a season. For you, is it winning a season or is it winning this World Cup that we will have in the summer?
World Cup, big time.
Yeah.
Always going to be World Cup over Grand League. World Cup means so much more. The format, everything is so much more of a professional nature. It's not going to be like a show. It's going to be an actual event. The height going to be there. So I think, yeah, big time. The World Cup is going to be the most prestigious event in Trackmania.
Yeah, and it's good to finally have it back to sort of say it's the world champion again, because I don't know what to say about what should I call Carl Jr. after he won Trackmania Grand League season. Is it like a grand champion? Is it like a world champion? It's sort of like a weird thing because the world championship title is like such a long history in Trackmania.
I'd just call them whoever wins it the best player at that time.
Yeah.
And then whoever wins the next one is the best at that time. I think it's easy to say that Carl is consistently the best. So
yeah,
it's easy just to say whoever wins Grand League is the best player.
Any final words from you? Because this season we have seen a lot of support in different chats, even though it was not only in your MnM Gaming chat. People were like, Pack is like smurfing everybody. Pack is on another level. He's like an II. What do you say to the people who actually showed a lot of support to you? I don't know if you have recognized it, but from an outside perspective, it was like you got a lot of support in the different chats. At least I watched.
Yeah, no, I do enjoy rewatching the streams and seeing the messages sometimes. Whenever I'm like a second in front or live by players, like it's really interesting to see how the chat interacts. So yeah, no, I do enjoy everyone's support that I do see. The comment I saw once is you can't spell pace without Pack. I love that one so much. I love that one so much. That's such a good one. But yeah, no, I do appreciate everyone that does support. So that's
yeah. Thank you so much for stepping up and doing this interview. I'm sure we will do an interview after you probably have a successful final. Hopefully it's going to be longer than the final 4 this time. But yeah, thanks so much, Pack, and good luck with the exams that is now coming up.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
That's it for today. Bye-bye.